So they don't always have to listen.
I disagree with you and say that.
Respectfully?
I respectfully disagree with you and say that you, like, the robot maybe misunderstood and said, like, it wasn't even thinking about the subject of destroying humans until he brought up that subject. So it's still listening, it's analyzing his words and saying he must want me to destroy humans, so I'm going to destroy humans.
I respectfully disagree with you again, but if I ask Chandler, do you want to go outside and play ball? And he'd be like, I'll be like, please say yes, please say yes. And he say no. Like, I ain't telling him to say no. I'm telling him to say yes, but he's saying no. So he gonna disobey you. What I'm saying, like the robot did him.
But Chandler has free will. He has free will. The robot doesn't have free will. Therefore, the robot cannot like do everything that us humans do. And they are built. They're built. They're not made the organic way. I don't want to get into it, but
the robot is like me asking somebody a question, and they just answer it. Like he asked the robot a question. That's like that. Like me asking Chandler a question.
Okay, I want to interject for us.
A question, and that robot answered that question.
All right, I will interject. So Diari has respectfully answered your question, Jawan. When bringing up an idea, he made a really valid point. I love that you connected something personal. So if you are tying in something, you ask somebody a question, of course they're not going to be thinking about that until you ask them that question. Not if you agree. If you have no idea what somebody's going to ask you, if they pose a question to you, then they are going to respond to that question right then and there. So raising your hand if you also heard that the robot can get more intelligent over time. Okay, so this is telling us that this robot can actually think on its own. She can respond the way she feels like responding, and she does have that free will to do that. So make sure it's one person standing up at a time. Let's give Chandler a chance. All right, because he's been standing. Make sure you're tracking.
I agree with you, Diari. I think they can make a robot because I watch plenty of things. I know plenty of things that robots can do. They can actually be smart, but they can be smart and intelligent. But I don't really trust them because I don't think they would. I think people be acting lazy and not doing anything that much.
Okay, one more second before you interject. I want us to stick to the characteristics. Is being intelligent one of our 7 criteria for being living?
no.
Is being intelligent a criteria for being alive?
Yes.
Is that one of the 7 in the circle that we have?
Yes, because humans learn the same way that robots can learn. Like robots have the knowledge to learn what humans learn too. Like when we was in first grade, 2 + 2 = 4, right? Like the robot can answer that question too.
Okay.
Just like the human.
All right, so what criteria does that fall under? Okay, so if you're able to respond to something that someone asks you, which criteria, raising a college hand, does that actually fall under out of our 7? It has to be out of the 7 in order for us to identify. Yes, Tracy.
And it falls under stimulus.
What does it say?
Stimulus.
Okay, what about stimulus or stimuli?
Like he can react to something.
Okay, so reacting, right? So reacting to stimuli is one of the criteria, and the robot we saw was able to do that. Okay, so I'm still not convinced. I still have not heard anyone prove it to me. Can a scientist build a robot that's live? Because you all were arguing about that, but we just saw that that's true. The robot can respond to stimuli. Zephaniah, go ahead on.
The robot, I disagree with him. Thank you. I disagree with him because the robot cannot reproduce.
Okay, that's his point. Someone else?
I agree with you, Zephaniah, and I say that a robot, sure, it has heightened reflexes and it was built to be better than humans, but it doesn't grow over time. Like it doesn't get bigger or small. It doesn't get bigger, smaller, or any of that. It doesn't take in nutrients. It does use energy to work, but it has something that it might have something inside of him that keeps the temperature not too hot or not too cold.
Okay, someone else speaking on what you want to say?
I disagree with you because a robot, like, it's a robot actually, like you said, they'll explain it to me.
Okay, so using energy, or which one are you speaking about? What he said, using energy,
Oh, yeah. The
or
robot
getting
is
bigger?
Mainly, it's growing literally, like inside his mind is growing, like it's getting smarter and smarter by the knowledge. Like a robot couldn't grow, but it can't grow like taller, but it could be built taller. But the mind inside it is growing stronger.
I respectfully disagree with you, but you brought up a valid point. It can be built taller. That means a human has to work on it for it to do something. Like it has to be built in a different way. It can't just be like a human and like I'm a baby now and now I'm an adult.
Okay.
It's not
Can
like,
someone speak on? We talked about this earlier in the week about how humans or it can be built on as well to grow. Can someone speak on that? We talked about that earlier in the week. Ashton?
I say, thank you. I think that scientists can build a robot that is alive. The reason
Can
why
or
I say
can't?
this- Can.
Okay.
And the reason why I say this is because scientists may not be able to program cells in a robot, but a robot still can grow knowledgeably in its mind. A robot probably can reproduce. I don't but it could take in but it could adapt to things around it, such as when it goes to China, it could learn Chinese. And all that stuff.
Oh yeah, but he can't.
Chandler.
It can use energy, such as if it's like dead. I don't know if they'll use like battery or stuff in the robot, but if it's dead, it could like charge it up. So that's energy. And respond. It can respond to things. It can be programmed to have a will of its own, and respond to things around it, such as you hit it, it can talk back and say ow or something like that.
Oh.
And yes, that is the reason why I say.
All right.
Agree with you, but
I respectfully
disagree with you because what you call it, the thing about you having a charged robot up, you ain't gotta exactly build it to be charged. It could actually get energy from the sun transported to the robot body. They don't actually have to have like a charger just to charge the robot up. The sun transports the energy to the robot cells in his body that you can put in there.
I respectfully disagree with you, Diari. But